That's right. There is so much good news, so much winning out of the Trump White House right now that the mainstream legacy media can't keep up with it.
Just when things seemed like they couldn't get more intense, they did. Karoline Leavitt has filed a second lawsuit against The View, and now ABC is in serious crisis mode. Reports say Whoopi Goldberg is worried, Joy Behar is upset, and Sunny Hostin is surprisingly silent. This isn't just internet gossip. This is a second legal case targeting both the show and its hosts. Sources say the team behind The View is holding urgent internal meetings. Sponsors are pulling out, and network executives are calling this a major reputational blow. So, what exactly happened? What did Karoline Leavitt say or do this time that's causing such chaos at ABC? 3 days ago, The View aired a new episode. You'd think that after being hit with an $800 million lawsuit, the hosts would be careful with their words. But instead of taking a more cautious approach, they leaned in and made more comments about Leavitt, right on live TV in front of millions. Joy Behar made the first comment, referring to Leavitt as a pro-Trump spokesperson. The audience laughed, and Sunny Hostin added more criticism, saying the lawsuit was part of a political strategy. Then Whoopi, who's at the center of the original legal case, added her own remark. She's lucky we even let her on the show. While it may have seemed like just another moment of television, Leavitt's legal team viewed it as direct evidence. They carefully reviewed the clip, compared it to earlier statements, and saw it as further support for their claims. According to them, the hosts didn't just cross a line, they ignored it altogether. Leavitt's lawyers say this isn't about personal offense. It's about proving that even during an active lawsuit, The View chose to repeat the same behavior that got them into legal trouble in the first place. Soon after, a second lawsuit was filed in federal court. This new case isn't just about defamation. It claims the hosts escalated the situation, retaliated, and tried to damage Leavitt's reputation further. The new complaint outlines multiple serious accusations, including intentional character attacks, reputational harm, and attempts to intimidate during a legal dispute. Legal experts cited in the filing say ABC's defense appears weak, and one even suggested the network might want to consider settling the case rather than taking it to trial. The lawsuit also includes comments from media scholars, legal analysts, and even a former federal judge, many of whom are surprised the hosts continued making remarks during active litigation. Inside ABC, the mood is tense. Industry insiders say this could be Whoopi's final season on the show. Public relations teams are overwhelmed, and advertisers are backing away. It turns out, the first lawsuit was just the beginning, and this second legal strike could have even greater consequences for The View and the network behind it.
Joy Behar calls her a 10. I mean, how dare she objectify a woman with a rating system, but it's such a typical thing from a 1.5.
Well said.
The atmosphere inside ABC is no longer just tense, it's combusting. Multiple insiders say The View's studio has turned into a pressure cooker, not because of Karoline Leavitt's legal moves, but because of the fallout from the show's own hosts. The same panel that mocked Leavitt on live television is now watching. Their show teeter on the edge of collapse. Within 48 hours of Karoline's second lawsuit, chaos broke out behind the scenes. This wasn't a case of jitters, it was outright turmoil. Producers, typically calm and professional, are reportedly furious, not at Leavitt or her attorneys, but at the show's talent. One veteran producer is said to have slammed a folder in frustration during a post-show meeting, exclaiming, "This is what happens when no one listens," and there were warnings. A leaked internal memo, verified by 2 independent sources, confirmed ABC leadership had instructed the panel to avoid inflammatory comments about the case. They didn't listen. Instead, Joy cracked a joke. Sunny dismissed the lawsuit, and Whoopi added a smirk and a one-liner that's now central to new legal filings. ABC is now in full emergency mode. Major sponsors are walking away, legal departments are working overtime, and internal teams are combing through show transcripts and emails like it's a criminal investigation. Morale has reportedly plummeted. One anonymous staffer said bluntly, "We used to joke about lawsuits. Now we're Googling severance packages, and the fallout is real. ABC has frozen internal budgets, cancelled future segment development, and indefinitely shelved a major promotional campaign for The View. Security at the studio has doubled, not because of threats, but due to the scale of backlash. Angry emails, social media protests, and non-stop calls are pouring in from viewers demanding accountability and resignations. Even longtime fans of The View, once loyal defenders, are now turning against the show. One viral comment summed it up. This show used to be about truth. Now it's about tearing down anyone who disagrees. Petitions are gaining momentum, with calls for the removal of Whoopi Goldberg, Joy Behar, and Sunny Hostin. ABC's board is reportedly reviewing talent contracts, a move that often signals major shifts ahead. Meanwhile, Karoline Leavitt has stayed silent. No media appearances, no social posts, just strategic stillness. And that silence is proving louder than any headline. In a media world that thrives on instant reactions, her restraint is turning heads. She's letting the lawsuits, and the networks unraveling, speak for themselves. This isn't just tabloid drama. These are two federal lawsuits in rapid succession, targeting the same show, backed by a growing pile of legal and ethical concerns. Even media outlets that usually sidestep stories involving conservative voices are now covering it. Why? Because the backlash is widespread, the claims are specific, and the internet won't let it go. Now, The View is facing scrutiny beyond daytime TV. Legal experts warn this case could set new precedent, not just for legacy media, but for content creators everywhere. If Karoline's legal team proves their point, the bar for reckless disregard for the truth could shift dramatically, impacting everyone from YouTubers to podcast hosts. Online, the momentum is building. Hashtags like Karoline Strikes Back, Sue The View, and media accountability have trended for days. TikTokers are stitching old show clips with real-time legal analysis. YouTubers are live-streaming breakdowns of court filings with PR experts and attorneys. And now, even prominent left-leaning voices are acknowledging the issue. One MSNBC analyst, normally a defender of progressive media, went viral for saying, "Karoline may be controversial, but she's exposing a media problem we've ignored for too long." That post has sparked thousands of retweets and opened a floodgate of uncomfortable conversations in the press. For years, The View has operated in a protective media bubble, firing off political opinions, personal jabs, and partisan commentary, under the cover of studio applause. But Karoline Leavitt may have just pierced that shield. Now, for the first time, the spotlight isn't on the guests, it's squarely on the hosts. Because this isn't just about one woman. It's about the blurred line between commentary and defamation. It's about media influence without accountability. And it's forcing legacy networks to confront a reflection they can't ignore and may not like.
So it is the belief of this White House and the White House counsel's office that the president was within his executive authority to do that. He is the executive of the executive branch, and therefore he has the power to fire anyone within the executive branch that he wishes to. There's also a case that went before the Supreme Court in 2020, Scala Law LLC versus the Customs, Bureau Protection. I would advise you to look at that case, and that's the legality that this White House was wrestling on.
The empire is cracking. ABC never expected a second lawsuit from Karoline Leavitt, and certainly not one with this level of precision and force. But after the hosts of The View mocked her again, despite an active $800 million lawsuit, she struck back hard. Now the network is reeling. Internal documents reveal ABC warned the panel to back off. They didn't. The result? Sponsors fleeing, legal teams in panic mode, and executives stuck in endless crisis talks. The options on the table are brutal. Suspend the stars, pay out massive settlements, or cancel The View altogether. And while chaos swirls inside the studio, Karoline remains completely silent, her strategy clear, her case stronger than ever. What began as media mockery is now a legal powder keg. And the next move could rewrite the rules of television forever.
While I vow to provide the truth from this podium, we ask that all of you in this room hold yourselves to that same standard. We know for a fact there have been lies that have been pushed by many legacy media outlets in this country about this president, about his family, and we will not accept that. We will call you out when we feel that your reporting is wrong or there is misinformation about this White House.
They laughed. They mocked. They rolled their eyes. And now The View is in full-blown panic mode, scrambling with shallow apologies and rushed PR band-aids, hoping the firestorm fizzles out. But Karoline Leavitt isn't flinching. No interviews, no media tour, no victim narrative. Just cold, hard facts, and they're speaking louder than any host ever could. So before you scroll past, ask yourself this. If one young conservative, woman, with no corporate backing, just took on $1 billion media machine twice and made it bleed, what does that say about the strength of the empire? And more importantly, what does it reveal about where real power is shifting? This isn't just about Karoline or Whoopi. It's about a system cracking in real time. Maybe this is the reset moment. Maybe truth is finally pushing back. So if you're tired of smug media bubbles and unchecked mockery, hit like, subscribe, and share this, because The View isn't just entertainment anymore. It's ground zero in a media war. And Karoline, she's not backing down. She's rewriting the rules.